Welcome. So back in February, I started posting videos on my business YouTube channel, and it recently occurred to me that there's so many how to get started videos and how I got my first 100, my first 1,000, my first 10,000, 100K, whatever, all that fun stuff. But I could never find a video on someone starting from scratch. And then it just dawned on me, I'm like, why don't I just document my journey? My business channel isn't huge or anything by any means right now. I'm still learning. But I figure it would be cool to do these monthly rundowns of the previous month and post it on my personal YouTube channel. And any insights that I learn or figure out throughout that time, drop a video is not only a way to document, but if the right type of nerdy dork like me out there finds these videos, it can help them grow their own YouTube channel. And I think it can just be really cool and helpful to do whatever I can do to help other people like me. So I decided back in January to leave my previous job because I wanted to finally do YouTube full-time. I've purchased a bunch of courses and watched so many YouTube videos on how to get started and things of that nature. As I'm sure if you found this video, you're probably doing yourself. There is no right or wrong way to do YouTube, but there are better practices that can help you do much better faster. And the reason I decided to give this journey recording not only for myself so I can always look back, but I realized that I'm actually doing pretty good on my pace, and I wanted to share kind of some insights. And something that I can't really find anywhere online are videos on there's so many videos on make good videos and thumbnails and topics, but no one ever talks about taking that data and the analytics and kind of really trying to understand it. I think it would be fun to do that. So that's what this video is. Currently, my business channel is at 232 subscribers, which is not too bad considering I started posting February 12th. I started the channel 3 years ago. My buddy actually recorded videos for it because I was building a website. I was in e-commerce and he was doing tutorial videos. Did 10 and then he couldn't do it anymore and I got a job opportunity. So I stopped posting, but the channel grew to 67 subscribers from those 10 videos. And no reposting or anything. So 67 people subscribed to that channel. So in January, I was like, if 67 people subscribed to this, what could happen if I actually took the time to figure out what kind of content I want to do and build this business in a way that where it takes everything to a different approach. Now, there is a rule, not a rule, but there's a way of thinking about this that really helped me in terms of how to grow. And the first one that I want to mention, the first one was YouTube search is what comes up a lot. So my particular niche, if you're completely starting from zero, you never made videos, there's going to be a little bit more of a learning curve for you. And the reason is I was making videos prior at the company I was at, so I have the video experience on how to be on camera a little bit better than people just starting out who have never done video. And I have a lot of hours of doing that. So that was one plus in my corner. So I was like, okay, I have to produce myself, but I'm not starting from scratch. I'm not knowing how to do it because a lot of my earlier videos, man, those were rough. So I understand from that perspective, if you're starting a YouTube channel, that's gonna be the first thing is getting comfortable on camera and learning how to talk to the camera. The best thing I think that I did for myself that I would and I recommend for anyone who's starting in video is before I would do a dry run, which basically before I filmed any content, I would literally put on the camera, press record, and record whatever I was doing and get one or two of those takes done and out of my system that were gonna be bad. And by that time, it was like rehearsal. I knew what I was gonna do so that the flow, what I was gonna say was a lot better. Another thing that helped for me at least was making bullet points on things I wanted to talk about. So it wasn't just write down the bullet points and then move them in order to what makes sense for a narrative type thing. So if you're starting, that's something I definitely recommend instead of going into ranty zone. I should have taken my own advice because this video is literally me on top of my head because I was just I just need to film this video so I at least do it, and then moving forward, when I'm thinking about doing it, I can have a bullet point. The next is a YouTube search strategy. So that one's really big within my particular niche because people are always looking up products. And I honestly feel like that's for anything that's not entertainment on YouTube, which is I built a chocolate factory, Mr. Beast or something like that. So YouTube search is a very strong strategy. The only thing with YouTube search is your titles become keyword dependent and your thumbnail also kind of becomes keyword dependent. And a keyword, if you don't know what it is essentially what the topic is. So this video is starting a YouTube channel from scratch. That's your keyword, starting YouTube channel from scratch. Even though it's like a phrase, the people just call them keywords or long tail keywords, but it's just like what phrase or word or thing are you trying to rank for? And with YouTube search, it's great, but the thing is I'm really focused on trying to grow the channel as big as possible, as quickly as possible. And the reason for it, to open certain doors that I want to open, I know I need to aggressively approach YouTube, and this is what I want to do. Like, I have no desire to do anything else but YouTube moving forward, just because I know I've seen firsthand what the opportunities can present. For me to do certain things, I know the more power of a platform that I build with the community on YouTube, the more I can benefit the community that I'm a part of, which is like the audio industry space. And the only way to enact any change is like you have to grow your own platform to enact the change that you want to see. Otherwise, the status quo just allows things to continue. So that's why I'm so fixated on YouTube. Plus, I spend way so much time on YouTube. Like, I'm sure you do too if you're watching this and you're just like, I just want to start a YouTube channel. I'm excited. So YouTube search is one strategy, and this video is going to focus on February 12th, which I posted my first video. So YouTube search was my beginning strategy, and I've changed it, but I'll talk about that in another video. Another way of thinking about my subscriber base, when I was doing my rabbit hole search, there's this video from Roberto Blake that I'll link in the description below. It was a really good video, and I would highly recommend following his channel. He has a lot of cool tips and insight, and he's been doing this for like 10 or 15 years. Roberto's been doing YouTube for a very long time. But he follows the one conversion rule, which if you're not familiar with conversion, so in marketing or sales, it's like the amount of times you present one thing to certain, so if you have like a marketing campaign, Facebook for example, and it's like 10,000 people see it, on average, like a good conversion rate is like, okay, if at least 1% of those people convert, you get this much in sales. So his philosophy, which makes a lot of sense, and I never thought about it until this video, was what is your goal, and then convert views to 1% and as a conversion rate, and that's ideally how many subscribers you get. So if you're wanting to get to, let's say, 1,000 subscribers, you would need 100,000 views, because 100,000 times 1% is well, I clicked on that one, that's your 1,000 subscribers. So, and that's not saying that's like going to happen, but that's a good rule of thumb to follow, that if you get that many views, then per that many views, you should have about 1% of those views convert to stay on track, and that's your goal. Anything over the 1% conversion, your channel is going to really grow, and you're doing an awesome job on YouTube. Now, it takes most people, I think, anywhere between 1 to 3, I think it was like 1 to 3 years is what I read, to get at least 100 subscribers on YouTube. So when I realized that, and realized that the channel, for only posting like 10 videos, was at 67 subscribers over 3 years, I was like, considering nothing happened on that channel and it's at 67 and it's only a couple away from 100, that's actually pretty sick. And that's why I asked myself, like, what would happen if I focused on growing the business like I actually wanted to grow it? Now with that said, let's jump into YouTube. So one thing, a lot of people go over like focus on topics, titles, and thumbnails, but they don't focus on like the analytics and how to read the data and what it all means. So I'm going to try to do that and kind of give you guys some insights, but this is going to be a way for me to like document my journey from like nothing to one day when I, if I'm lucky enough to have like 100K subscribers, I can look back at these videos that I'm documenting from like what I did the previous month, strategies that I implemented, YouTube courses that I did that I can recommend to people, and because I've done a lot of YouTube courses too, so that gives me a leg up. And there are some that are good and some that are not good, and I haven't figured out how I'm gonna tell those stories yet, because just because one wasn't good for me doesn't mean it wouldn't be good for someone else. Just like if you play it, some teachers are better than others. So like one history teacher might not vibe with you, but like everyone else in the class loves them, but you're just like, this person's not for me. That's kind of how I feel about some of the YouTube courses. It's like, that's not what I cared about. But one common theme with most YouTube courses is no one talks about analytics. So I had to go and like Google certain analytics and stuff, but let's dive in and take a look. So from February 12th of this year to March 31st of this year, I had 1.8K views, 57.8 hours of watch time, and 24 subscribers. So if my goal is to grow a YouTube channel, and if you're watching, you want to get monetized, 1,000 subscribers with 4,000 hours of watch time. Now, if you do the YouTube search base, 57.8 hours of watch time is not a lot, considering in February and March, I also posted 18 videos, which was roughly equates to like, no, that's like 3 videos a week. So from February 12th to the end of March, I posted 3 videos a week, 18 videos, and I got 57.8 watch hours. Now, granted, my thumbnails that I started out with were trash because I still don't know how to use Photoshop, but I'm getting better. My titles were trash, and this number makes sense. And you know, I hadn't done enough for YouTube to recommend and push my videos out there. But if we follow the 1% conversion, so 18 subscribers would be 1% conversion, and I did 24. So that right there, 24 minus 18, I was 6 ahead of the 1% conversion. So that made me, I was excited. And I really think to stay on this journey, I'm gonna have to like not be so hard on myself, because I'm one of those people that if I don't see like big spikes, I'm not stoked. And another thing about this YouTube channel that I want to mention is I'm not posting on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or anything. So right now, it's like a secret YouTube channel, basically. Even though I have friends and other people that would want to subscribe, I'm doing it secretly. My picture's not even on the thumbnails. And the reason for it is, if the way I see it is, if I have friends and people who would just subscribe to subscribe, at first they're going to subscribe and they're going to inflate my number, which is, you know, cool. I'm like closer to 1,000 subscribers. Maybe they watch the first 2 videos and then they drop off. So that means my watch hour time is now like skewed, but also my viewer or subscriber engagement rate is also skewed because I have all these people that subscribe, but no one's engaging in the content. So it starts skewing your numbers. And if you do, and it's like YouTube is going to find my ideal watcher, because YouTube's going to analyze my content, analyze the people watching the content, and it's going to say, oh, these type of people enjoy his content, and let's serve it to these other people over here are similar in taste and things. They might like it too. Let's serve some videos over here, and YouTube will, the more videos you post, the better you get at it. YouTube is going to find your ideal tribe and the people that the videos are going to serve the best. So as long as you're worrying about making the best video you can to serve whoever's watching it on the other end, YouTube will find your tribe for you better than posting on Facebook and random forums or anything. So that's me, my personal. Other people might tell you post everywhere, ask people to just watch all the time. I don't feel like that's going to give me the accurate representation, because I want the harsh reality of my channel. If the retention is like super low, I want to know, because I want to find where people are jumping off or scattering and fix that. And you can't do that if your numbers are skewed. So that's my personal choice in doing all this. And people would say I'm doing it in hard mode. If you want to post on Facebook and stuff, do you just realize that when you start reading the analytics and you're like confused, you might skew your numbers. So let's go back over here. So we have 57.8 hours of watch time, 24 subscribers, epic. And we can see the videos that were top. So this was an older video, older video, older video. This one was a newer video, and this one was an older video. So most of the videos were older at this time. Like the newer ones weren't really searching. And then I mentioned retention earlier. So this video right here is really funny because this one has some of the highest views on the channel from being posted like 3 years ago, but it only has a 12.5. And the reason that happens is these videos were meant for search. And if you've ever done YouTube search, what happens to most of us, there's 2 things. One, we type the thing in Google, Google finds a video, and then it has a timestamp, and then we click on that, and it takes us to that timestamp of the video, and then we're out. So that brings your retention really low. And then also people like to click through to find the thing that they want. In the tutorial space, what I've come to realize is that on average, I think it's like between 25 and 35% for most tutorial type videos. And if your video is really good, you'll get between 35 and 45. And anything above 45 is that's a really good tutorial video. That means people are watching it all the way through. There's no fluff. They're following each step of the way type thing. Now, for right now, a lot of the videos were tutorial and stuff. I'm changing my strategy for the past couple of videos. And I'm getting more into storytelling in my videos and less into like, this is how you do this is how you do that. And the reason for it is because I want to grow my channel. And if I keep doing tutorial videos, I'll be burning myself out in the next 3 years trying to get to like 10,000 subscribers. So I'm changing my strategy right now. But this is what I was doing back in February and March. And yeah, we can see that this was retention. So let's go to content and see this is all views came from videos. You can see right here, this tells you where all your traffic comes from. And we're actually gonna look at a better page in a second, but this at a glance is like 63% of my traffic came from YouTube search. That means someone typed search, found my video. Browse feature is showing up on random people's homepages, and also if someone is subscribed to your channel, and based on what their viewing history is, YouTube's like, oh, they might like this video, and they don't really know, the subscriber doesn't know I have that type of video, they'll serve it to them on the homepage too, which I'm sure you're aware of. And suggested videos means someone watched a certain video, whether it was yours or someone else's from a different channel, and then at the side, on the right-hand side, it suggested your video, and that's how some views came in. And if you really want to grow aggressively and fast, browse and suggested are going to be where you want to focus a lot of your attention. And there's actually, I'll link 2 other videos from another channel called Film Booth that's really helpful. And that channel, the guy Ed goes over 2 differences between these two, and those videos really helped me kind of understand why my strategy was like, even though it had been like 2 months, I was like, this strategy is not gonna work. It's just like, I'm gonna burn myself out before I even start if I keep doing the search method for myself. My particular niche, doing it search and doing the way I was doing it, it's gonna be a long run. Some others are not as long of a run. It kind of depends. You have to kind of feel it and vibe it out, because your niche may not be as competitive, so you might have some wiggle room in growing faster in search because of the type of videos that you're doing. Next is impressions. So what this number is anytime your thumbnail shows up on a homepage or the mobile app, someone scrolls past it, that's an impression. So 19.8K impressions, 6.2% of those people clicked on it, which means I got 1.2K of views, which is pretty close up here to what that was from impressions. And then on average, people watched 2 minutes of the videos, giving me 41.42 watch hours. Now remember, to monetize, it's 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. So 41.42 hours of watch time in 2 months. You can see how it's going to take forever to get to 4,000 hours watch time. If like this is I was doing 3 videos a week, which is an insane pace. If you're just starting out, focus on 1, maybe 2 videos if you can manage it, but 1 video a week is more than enough if you just really try to do your best. But I was burning out on 3 because 1, I've never edited video before, so I really wanted to just like edit the video, figure out a flow, and figure out my system. Now I'm down to 1 video every 7 to 10 days because it was an unmanageable pace, and I was gonna try to do it for the whole year. I was like, I'm gonna get to 100 videos. I quickly was like, I'm not gonna do that. The strategy wasn't working for what I envisioned, and I understand like YouTube is a long game, it's a marathon, but it's like if you're not seeing the results for the goal that you have in mind, then you've got to change your strategy. There's just like, I'm a musician and a audio producer, so if I know what the record needs to sound like and what I'm doing right at that moment isn't going to correlate to what that outcome is going to be, I need to change the strategy or figure out something else to do. So that's this right here. And then we go to audience, and it's just like 28 returning viewers, and then new viewers, 1.4K unique viewers. And none of this other stuff really matters right now. So let's go to advanced mode, which is where all the good stuff is at. All right, so this tells you all that info for all the videos on your channel for how many views were part of that number. So it was actually 1,798 views, and it was actually 57.8 watch hours. So the numbers on that first one weren't 100% accurate, this is great to see. Like, okay, so it was actually not 47 point whatever watch hours. This is actually 57. But it shows you which of your videos were in like the top 5, and then which ones ranked below. impressions, click-through rate through impressions. And if you're in like a tutorial or how-to type industry, from what I've gathered from other people similar are, what I've gathered from other people that's similar is 3.5 is a good spot to be in. Anything higher than that, you're gonna rank higher in the search, which is a good thing. So make the best thumbnail you can. So you can see like right here, this video, this CLA video, I think that, yeah, March 17th, this one's click-through rate is 2.5, but my strategy for this video is very different from the other ones. And I think actually, after we get through this main one, we'll go look at one of those older videos and take a look at like the click-through rate strategy on that. So next is traffic source. This one's super important. So earlier we saw like our click-through rate for the channel and the impressions. So click-through rate for the channel was 6.2. Now, a lot of people see that and they're like, oh, 6.2, my channel's doing great. Well, that's not the whole truth. And what you need to go in here and search is like, okay, YouTube search was my strategy, 9.9. So yeah, like that's a good like number. Browse features, which again, homepage for non-subscribers, subscribers, 6.9%. That's all right. Suggested was 1.7, and then homepage, channel pages, this is people subscribe to me from the channel, 4.2. And then playlist views is people who I believe put your videos on a playlist or something like that. I have to double check on that actually. Is there no question mark thingy? All right, so cool. I got to go research this one. But you can see YouTube search is higher than browse and suggested. If you want to grow your channel, you want suggested and browse to be higher, basically. So this is why the channel was having slow growth. I was focusing on YouTube search. It can work, but it's going to be a slow growth because people have to actually be looking for it. Then you have to rank in search. Once you rank in search, then it will recommend. Whereas if you make the video optimized for suggested and browse features, you'll do a better job. So if you're trying to grow your channel and starting out, maybe search is the best option. But if we go to suggested videos, the cool part is this will show you those videos that your channel's been suggested on. So this suggested video is going to show me what videos were recommended in my videos. So this one's mine. This one's someone else's. This one's someone else's. Mine. And mine. So a really powerful strategy if you're doing a lot of tutorial how-to and you don't know what videos to do next. Come see what videos are suggesting your videos, and if you have something to say or something you can do that's similar, I would say why not do that video to see if you can rank in search, and then YouTube will not, if you rank in search on that video, then your other video that was already being suggested from that video, YouTube will end up suggesting both your videos. So that's two opportunities to win someone over, because sometimes it usually takes most people on average, and I mean, most of us have probably done it, where it takes like, let's say a couple videos, like 4 to 7 videos of one person's before, like, you know what, I'm gonna subscribe. Or you search enough times and like every search you do, their videos pop up and you're like, I like every time they do a video, I'm just gonna subscribe because they probably like the same things I like. Same thing here. So these might be things that people are interested in. So you do enough of these videos and that one person might be like, oh, they cover everything I would ever want to talk about or ever want to see. So this is traffic source. Let's see. Subscription source. This tells you where people came from to subscribe. So YouTube watch page. So people use the button from your channel, other, and then search. And like from watching a video, people hit subscribe on that video. So I gained 31, but I lost 7. And that's going to happen as you're making videos. Like some people are, especially in like a niche and not in entertainment, people aren't as, maybe they have outgrown whatever you had to talk about. Maybe they don't care anymore. So many other things can happen. I know I've unsubscribed just for random reasons because I'm just like, oh, I'm just not into this thing anymore. So I just unsubscribe because I don't want to have it pop up. And that's pretty much it on this page for now. And let's go. I don't know what the heck is going on there. We were going to talk about a video. So let's go to content. And let's scroll through to like the first video right here. We'll hit analytics. So the name has changed. Now I named it to Foolproof Way to Louder Mixes. When I first made this video, it was like how to use Stealth Limiter by IK Multimedia, because I was trying to rank in search, so I used search terms. But one thing I've noticed lately is I can title something without the keyword, and then in the details use up to 3 hashtags. And those 3 hashtags, I can put the name of the thing, the company and the thing. So it's been helping. That way I don't have to put things in here. And I just because like with the title, I want the title to be something more exciting than, is this better than the, like, I think the common one that's in my particular niche is like, what is it? Is it worth it or worth it? And I was doing that myself, but then I started seeing all these videos do it, and I was like, oh, I hate that title. I'm not doing that anymore. So I started getting more, I'm slowly getting better at the titles. So let's see, this video for February, I don't want to see February through now. I want to see February through, wait, that's April. There we go, March. Why is it doing this? There we go. There's a more accurate number. So between February and March, this video got 63 views, 3.1 hours of watch time, 1 subscriber. Average view duration is 3 minutes and 23 seconds. So this is how often, on average, how much of this people are watching. 26.1 average percent viewed. This is the retention rate, and it says right here 57% of viewers are still watching at the 30 mark, which is typical. So that's good to know. And you can see this is like that dip that people warn you about. And what happens to a lot of newer channels is it gets down here to like 30%. But I really worked on the hook, and I've made educational content in the past, so like this kind of faltering makes sense. And it's the first video that I made on my own, editing and all that stuff. So 26.1 is not ideal, but I'm happy with it because just the fact that I did the video made me happy. So if we go to see more, not see more butts, but see more, here's the audience retention graph. And then a better idea is YouTube will give you a relative audience retention. So that means how your video is doing relative to other similar videos. And you can actually see like, oh, for first minute, you want to be above average at all times, the above average line. So it's like, I'm above average right here. This part of the video flow is below and then below. And if you're like, well, how do I know what's in that part of the video? You can literally click here and you can press play. And you can see, like, okay, what happened here that made people not want to watch. Please don't do it. It doesn't cost them any more to program it in there. But I'm not a programmer. Maybe someone in the comments. See, so like I just went on a rant, and that rant lost people until here, which is an example. We have 4 different modes: tight, balanced, harmonic. But then right over here we see it start dipping. So let's fast forward and see what I did. I like it about here. Now let's listen to it without the Unity game. So interesting. I have no idea why someone would not watch that. Maybe it was just boring to them. And this is above average, so this probably meant like, okay, this is him like messing with it. Let's fast forward. Okay, cool. He's like got it dialed in, and they want to. What I've noticed with doing these videos is most people just want to see the final product in like a really short, like 1, 2, 3 on how to get there. If you're doing like an average tutorial type video, so like this wasn't working for me, so I was like, I need to change the strategy up so that, because ideally, if you want to grow, you want your bar to be around 66% or higher. Like 60% retention or higher is going to help grow your channel. So that's been a focus of mine for the past like couple months. We can go to reach. And we can see like, okay, out of 459 impressions, I have a 7.6 click-through rate. And earlier I mentioned like, you want to really take a look at like, okay, where's it coming from? So search, it used to be higher in search, and then this is browse features, 11.9. I think this number would probably be a little bit different if this click-through rate is probably going to be lower if I do it upload since lifetime, 6.5. Yeah, it went down a little bit, and the reason is it's going even higher in search. That's really interesting because I changed the title. It probably needs a couple more weeks until it figures itself out. So let's go back to custom, February 12th to December or March 31st. Apply. Then right here you can see, you know, your traffic, where the views. So in the last 48 hours I've gotten like 2 views. Ideally I want that to go higher, but it is what it is. This was the intro. I forgot right here, I'll like spike, like it'll show you key moments and then shows you where people dipped out. So this is a good thing to know. Is there anything else on the video side I want to show right now? Audience, 29 views. Nah. Another thing, if you're starting out too and you see like not subscribed and you see this number really high and you're like, oh, like I want more subscribers. Yes and no. Not subscribed being such a high number is a good thing because it means a lot of people are seeing your videos. So that means there's still a lot of opportunity for you. If it got to the point where you're not subscribed is really low and you're subscribed is high, that would worry me that either your videos aren't ending up on the homepage enough or on suggested, or you maybe your market's like tapped out. Maybe you're not in a big enough niche, so you can't really expand because you've gone in everyone. And I just don't believe that to be true. But a lot of people a lot of videos are like, you want to get this number as low as possible. And you've probably seen in other videos maybe where it's like, a lot of you guys aren't subscribed, so hit that subscribe button. I'm like, do you want to ask for the subscription, or do you want them to genuinely find value and then subscribe? So another thing with my personal strategy is I'm not asking for subscriptions. It's like I'm focused on making the video as good as possible and letting it speak for itself. And the only thing I ask for right now is likes, but I think I'm going to stop asking for likes. I'm going to stop asking for subscribes and likes and just focus on making the video as good as possible and letting it speak for itself. And if someone's like, this video is really well done, because the moment you ask for a subscribe or a like or a click on this or a comment below, I feel like that's the moment you're reminding someone that they're watching a video. And if you're in a tutorial how-to type space, it's a very dangerous place to be in because you don't want people to remember they're watching a video. You want them to be like engaged in the content and forget that they're watching the content. And then when it's done, they're like, oh crap, that was so good. I forgot I was watching like a 15-minute YouTube video because it was just so well done. I'm gonna hit subscribe and like because that was like, that blew me out of this world. Like you want to leave them in a state of like, holy crap, why would I not want to watch this channel? Like that brought me so much value and entertained me at the same time. So that's where my head's at strategy-wise. But if you're not that type of personality, you're like, I just want to make videos, then just make videos, ask for a like, ask for a subscribe. It's going to be your best strategy for now. I feel like in my bones, that's it for now. So yeah, that was February and March's analytics. I'll make another one for April. And for May, right now I'm in June. I think I'm gonna do one of these like analytics roundup every single month. And at my pace that I'm going, I think I'm at 232 subscribers. I'm hoping to hit 500 subscribers in the next 2 months, which would open up the community tab of Facebook, which would be another cool video. And I actually might make a video on like how to start a YouTube, like things to do on your YouTube page when you're starting out with YouTube, because I couldn't really find any good video on good practices. I had to figure it out from a bunch of those courses, and I don't think many of those courses will actually care because it's like such maintenance type stuff. So maybe my next video I'll be like, this is how you like build your YouTube channel page and good practices. So yep, hopefully you found that helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Later.